We're asked to simplify this expression, and we're going to use all our cool new rules to do that. So what are we going to start with? Well, really, there is no specific order you need to start, but I do have an order I usually do. First of all, I go through and I look for anything that I can combine in top and bottom. So just like regular order of operations, I treat the top and the bottom, remember, are their own grouping. And if you remember from order of operations, it says grouping is done first. So I usually try to clean up the top and the bottom or any individual grouping by itself first. So when I look at this top, this is going to be 30 z to the 7th over 55 z to the negative 4th. Now, the reason I did that is this is the product rule, right? We have two different bases, so we add the exponents. If it was something like this, 2 to the 5th, one base and two exponents, then I would multiply. But that's not what I had. Instead, I had two bases, so I add. Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to look just at the numbers, and I'm like, I can reduce those, right? I can take a 5 out of both of those. So I have 6 over 11, and I just divided both. That's just regular fraction work, same stuff you've been doing for years. Now my last step here is I'm going to use the quotient rule, right? Because now I'm going to look at this. This is a quotient, so the quotient, so I'm going to use my 611 out here, says that I take the top minus the bottom. Now notice with this that I am subtracting, and I have to keep both of these. This is actually going to become a positive 11. So this is 6 z to the 11th over 11. This is my final answer. Now, you could have done this another way, and there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's kind of whatever makes most sense to you. Now, what is my other option? I'm going to show you that because I want to show you how these interact. So here I would be, I'm not sure why I put everything. I could then, this is a negative exponent, right? That means move it to the top. So I would do 6/11 z to the 7th, z to the 4th, because I used my negative exponent rule, moved to the top and made it positive. This now is product rule. And what does product rule say I do? Product rule says I add. So then I would add these two to get z to the 11th, which is the exact same thing I did before, and I get the exact same answer. But just kind of to show you that it doesn't really matter as long as you were following the appropriate rules. There are usually more than one way to get the right answer, and it's up to you what works best for you. I'm very systematic. I do that top and the bottom. I would prefer just to do the quotient rule and subtract them rather than move them. But if you're someone who knows you have a lot of trouble with negatives, you tend to flip stuff, maybe you prefer to do this method because you think you'll be less likely to make a mistake. But that gives you two really good options for tackling this problem.